So I have to jump in here because you're touching on something that I think is really important because similar to black capitalism arguments,
Mm.
I hear, well, the tech is here, brother. We have to decolonize the tech. This is a phrase that I've heard quite often. Like the
Mhm.
curriculum, like the
Yes.
money,
Yes.
decolonize it. And this kind of realism about the technology that, I mean, it goes extreme as like what someone like Van Jones would say,
Oh my God.
right?
Yeah.
Which is just absolutely ridiculous. You can
Well,
almost
could we not call that crackpot realism? Borrowing
yeah,
from C. Wright Mills.
I would
I mean,
call
that's
it
what it
that,
is, right?
right? But
Yeah.
then there's even one a left version of it
Yes.
that looks to be progressive. I'm curious your response to this. When someone comes to you who says, well, no, we have to use it, brother. We have to
Yeah.
use it and we have to kind of appropriate it to decolonize us to get freedom. I because I'm not a
Yeah.
technologist. So I'm
Mm.
coming to you so I can take this argument, clip it, and throw it at these people.
I hear this all the time, and my response to this is always a question of power. So, for example, years ago, there was some well-intentioned brothers and sisters who were talking to me because they respect me, and that's nice. They talking to me about crypto. They were like, oh, well, listen, this is a way, and Dr. Ball, you've talked about this. And they were coming to me and saying, well, as a technologist, don't you see the value of the blockchain? I said, my God, it's a database. What are you talking about? But the other thing, like, it's a database methodology, and not a particularly robust one. So I wouldn't trust that, but I could see some potential uses for it. But anyway, power. And so they said, but yeah, but now we'll own it. I said, well, what are we owning? Because at the foundation of this, from my perspective as a technologist, are servers running code, right? Now, who owns the servers? And then when Goldman Sachs came into this, I said, well, isn't that telling you something? Because you and I and we get all the black folks in America together and get one server room, I don't know, or maybe a couple, who knows? Let's be fair. Maybe we would get like a data center and we'll call it the I don't know, the Kwanzaa, I don't know, whatever you want to call the data center.
Not the Kwanzaa.
No, not the
That's
Kwanzaa. I'm sorry. I
the
apologize.
Kujichagulia data center.
Umoja.
Emoji.
The
Oh
emoji.
my
Yes, right. Data
goodness.
center, right. Well, because I'm from Philly, so I know all about the Black Israelites. But anyway, so let's say we did that, right? We still would be up against global capital that would say, yeah, that's nice. It's nice that you did that cute thing and that you have your own little data center that's running your own little blockchain. But you know what? We have, 100 billion to throw at this. And we own the internet and we own the media to propagandize, who you should be giving your money to. And we have Spike Lee walking up and down the streets of Manhattan in front of Wall Street, with a beautifully shot fisheye lens shot of him going, oh, get yours or something like that, right? We have all of that. We could probably get Beyonce and everybody to propagandize on our behalf. So you lose. You lose in this contest, which means that if you don't have the power, then the technology is not for you. That would be like saying, hey, Dwayne, here's an F-35 for you. Well, first of all, it's a piece of crap. So no, I don't want it. But the other spends more time in the shop. It's like a 72 Pinto. Spends more time in the shop than it does in the sky. But anyway, here's an
Not
F-35
Lockheed Martin hate.
all day.
Raytheon level hate.
All day. All day. But yeah, here's an F-35 for you. Well, guess what? I don't have the infrastructure. I don't have the fuel. I don't have the missiles. I don't have the ability to keep it going. You're not telling me, and you're not. I have no power. I just have a shiny thing sitting on a tarmac that will eventually rust, right? And I don't even know how to fly it. So the tool it requires power to be actualized for your purpose. And without that power, it's just you're either co-opted or you're ineffectual. And that is the problem. This happened, and even aside from black folks, specifically, I saw this with open source. Like, I'm old enough to remember when a whole bunch of us, being young and enthusiastic, and we were tired of Microsoft, and we're like, you know what? Linux is the way. Now, I love Linux. I use Linux. I recommend that people use Linux. It reduces the threat vector. It reduces the ability of you to be surveilled. It's not impossible, but it reduces it. But having said that, the open source movement failed in toppling Microsoft because Microsoft had the preponderance of power, right? Despite the fact that Windows is a horrible operating system, it didn't matter. Microsoft has a preponderance of power. And so without that power, you should still pursue certain things. But I think that you need to be realistic and not mistake a tool by itself as a means of liberation.
Listen. All the things. Can I just tell you? I can't wait. So it's Thursday right now. You all know that my mother is, and this is for the audience, my mother is very, very supportive of me, of the show, of the work. And so I get a call every day, like 5 minutes after the show ends, because she always says, I give you time just in case Jared tells you something after the show. So she like waits for a minute and then she calls. I cannot wait for her call after the show. She is going, like, she is just going to be all about, in a way that like I might have to email you with my mother so that y'all can like
that's fine. No, I'm open, to questions.
And I also can't wait to not hear from all the haters and ops who've been telling me I've been wrong for years, who are watching this in jaw-dropped silence, who refuse out of a lack of principle to say, Jared, you were right.
And you are. I watched a YouTube video of a seminar that you gave, and I'm like, yeah, you're spot on. Spot on. And I wish I had been there with you to whiteboard and block diagram the technical aspects that demonstrate why you were right.
Dwayne, listen, and I'm not even playing. Sinclair Skinner may be in fact watching this. He's going to invite me to the next blockchain conference. Let's tag team. I'll say I'm only coming if you buy my man Dwayne a flight and bring him from Amsterdam. Or better yet, Dwayne. No, but better yet, I'm only going to show up if I do it virtually if you fly me to Amsterdam so I can meet Dwayne over there and he can whiteboard it from over there. That's how we going to do it.
Coffee house is going to be very happy.
That Jared tried to get a free trip to Amsterdam.
What else are we doing, Renee? What else are we doing out here if not trying to get free trips to Amsterdam?
Ooh.
With Renee.